The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Folks, it's Christmas Day here at TFNN. We have two guests. We're going to start out with Norman. We call it to the minute, Winsky, and I believe Norm is on the line now. Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir, Larry. Good morning.
Fire away, buddy. You're in the box.
Okay, I got my intraday times up on the screen, I believe. And all these times are U.S. Eastern Daylight Time. If you're overseas, not familiar with our time zones, it's the same as New York. And this is for trading S&P E-minis. So I'm going to read off the times. If you have a device to take a screenshot, I'd recommend doing that. 10:26 a.m. I'll notice I have these ranked, 1 star, 2 star, that sort of thing. So first one's 10:26 a.m. Then we have 12:14 p.m. That's 1 star. 12:23 p.m. That's like a half a star, probably a little hiccup. 12:36 p.m. 1 star. 1:56 p.m. 1 star. 2:13 p.m. 1 star. 2:26 p.m. 1 star. 3:22 p.m. 1 star. 3:54 p.m. 2 stars. And 4:01 p.m. 1 star. Here's some instructions at the bottom here. Look to buy if the market declines into a time, or sell if it rallies into the time there. We're looking for, most of these should be accurate within about 3 minutes or so. Maximum 5 minutes is the maximum for most of those, except maybe if it's like a bigger one, like the 2-star guy there at 3:54, you might allow a little extra time. I would recommend a 2-handle stop loss on these. The one exception to all these rules are occasionally the market will trade into a wedge or triangle formation. Often then the key time will give you the apex of that wedge or triangle, and then you will look for the breakout at that time. Let's see, did I miss anything here? 10%? No, that's pretty much it. Any questions or comments there, Larry? Oh, well, let's get my contact information up there in case any of the folks want to get a hold of me. Here we go.
We're going to be able to do that, and also you're going to be on tomorrow too, correct?
That's correct, and I plan to follow up on these times and see how we did. Last time I think I hit like 5 out of 6 or something like that. So it's like giving away money, Larry.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll look forward to seeing it tomorrow, Norm. Thanks for joining us, and we'll watch these times tomorrow also.
All right. Thanks a lot for having me on. Look forward to being on your show tomorrow.
All right, buddy. See you later. Norm Winsky of Astro Trend. Okay, folks, let's take a quick look here at the DAX index. As you can see, we completed a little ABCD pattern up there. Yesterday, we sold off just a little bit early this morning. I think a lot of it is just people are tired of, all the stuff that's going on in the news. So we'll see whether that means very much or not. But there's another one here that has also done pretty much exactly the same thing. And of course, that is the FTSE chart that we follow, which is this 30-minute chart. But the one that really looks interesting, and I want to bring this to your attention because if you like patterns and you like Fibonacci numbers, there's one here that is very, very interesting, and that is this one right here. Let me get this up so let me expand it so we can see it really big, and then we'll take a quick look at it here. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It happens to be a daily chart, and if you look at that, you can see here that we have 1, 2, 3 major ratios coming together here as of the close yesterday. So that's going to be interesting to see if that's going to be the case. Hopefully, it will be. So that's what we're really paying attention to see if that's going to be right or not. But that is a Gartley pattern that has all the things necessary to complete a Gartley pattern, and that's pretty much what we're looking at. Now, one of the things that we'll have Norm back on tomorrow, folks. That's going to be his regular spot when we have him on for full moons and new moons. And but we bring him on for those intraday times because it really shows you that some of these are so spot on that it's really amazing how they do work. Now, at the break here, at the half-hour break, we're going to have Hema Reddy from Skinny on the E-Mini. I actually trained her father 30-some years ago, and I remember going to their home for dinner, and this young little girl was about 8 years old, and she ended up going to Indiana University from back in New Jersey, and she's taken up trading. Her father was a physician and passed away unexpectedly a few years ago, but she's going to have some really good things. She's got a book on relative strength and trading momentum, which I think we all could use, so we'll have her on the break at 9:30. All righty, let's move on to a couple of things that I think are relatively important, and one is the fact that we've got a big sell-off going on in these grains, and I wanted to bring this up here, to pull this up here. You'll see here, this is the December corn. As you can see, when we were making that 3 drive to a top pattern back on May 14th, when the weather was 97 degrees there at the Indianapolis 500 for that weekend on the 28th, you'll notice that that was the top of the market, and we have broken 40 cents in corn. That's a lot, folks, for the farmers. They've really gotten hit hard on that, but we're over one of those big lunar cycles, so we got that full moon. You want to pay attention to that. Those of you that have an interest in, soybeans, you ought to take a look at the July and November soybeans, but actually look at November, because July is old crop. But look at that November bean contract. That looks really interesting from a purchasing standpoint. So those are some of the things that we're keeping an eye on, today. People have asked a question about the ramifications of what's going on in this summit over here, folks. I've lived through those things before. Actually, the market follows the trend. When it's over, and it's not over till it's over. And we hit some nice numbers here in the Dow Jones yesterday, and we made expansion numbers, of course, in the composite and the NASDAQ. New York Stock Exchange Index has been lagging badly, and it still is lagging badly. All it did yesterday was take out the previous high by, just a very, very small amount. So you're basically looking at two different types of markets. You've got one market that is going nuts, which is the NASDAQ, and that NASDAQ 100, folks, is about 10 to 20 stocks out of 100. You put Apple, Amazon, Google, Netflix, all those, Teslas, all those in there. I mean, there's not enough Apple, there's not enough room for everybody else. So it's really heavily skewed by those stocks. And I focused on those stocks over the weekend because all of them, every single one, is making a major topping pattern. I don't know if they're all going to fail or not, but those are major topping patterns. 3 drive patterns, major ABCD patterns, 1.618 expansions, and they haven't broken those as of yet, so I don't know if it means anything or not, but that's what I see. I don't see anything more. I see nothing. I know nothing. Anyway, we'll watch that as we go through and look at some of these other things that we're watching here. Take a look. I'm going to post a chart here of July beans just to show you what's happened here in this July bean contract. And they're trying to blame this on the tariffs. Folks, give me a break. Just a month ago, when they were not even worried about that stuff, they were trading at 10.78. Now we're $1.20 under that, and now they're trying to blame it on the tariffs. So it wasn't the tariffs; it was something else. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of the Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I've posted the chart, the July soybean meal. That's the old meal, the one that's been harvested and the beans been crushed into meal and oil. And you'll see that there's four major ratios coming in here with that Gartley pattern that you can see. But I'm going to refer back to my good friend Jim Twentyman, and that is defy human nature, do the work yourself. Boys and girls, pull up a chart of December meal and do that same type of work. Now, December meal is the meal that's growing in the field now. It's in the soybean, the three little pods that are in that bean. They crush those into oil and meal later, but look at that December soybean meal chart. If you like patterns, you're going to like that one. Anyway, keep an eye on that. Now, the next one I wanted to talk about, and I haven't probably put two sugar trades on over the new moon. It's a full moon, isn't it? Isn't it a full moon coming in on tomorrow? I thought it was. Huh? Mr. Z. It is a new moon. Oh shucks, boy, oh boy. Oh, I wrote new moon. I'm thinking full moon. Sorry, folks. Oh boy, these mental lapses are getting too spaced apart. I mean, I'm getting too many of them, I guess. I don't know. All right, let's take a quick look here. The sugar. We bought sugar last month in May, back on that. New moon. We had a 1.618 expansions, and it moved $1,300. We sold it, and we said buy it back at the 61% retracement on the way down, and it hit it, and it's had another 700-point rally off of that. So the sugar is actually moving pretty good. Maybe I'll start trading sugar more, but I've had two sugar trades. The first two I've had in many years, and but these are just patterns. I don't know anything about the crop or anything like that, but those are the ones that we're taking a little bit of a we're watching them very, very close. So pay attention to those, because it's very good. And those lunar cycles, they don't work all the time. And I don't believe I said full moon. I've got it written right here on my sheet as a new moon. Oh, I should know that the new moons come in the middle of the month. Anyway, we'll see, at least for a while anyway, until the things change. Remember, we have the spring equinox comes here in about another 9 days on the 21st. So we'll see what's going down. Yeah, you're right, Gator. That was what actually that's what was coffee, cocoa, and sugar was what my grandma used to say. If you got the urge to trade those, go lay down on the couch till the urge goes away. But we have electronic trading now, folks. Back in the old days of the COMEX, there was all pit traded, but those guys were they made Jesse James and Frank James look like altar boys. They were such crooks, especially in that orange juice market, and they were all related. And but now with electronic trading, it's really fair. I mean, you can see the open interest, you can see the trades. I mean, you're only paying like $2, $2 on a trade, so it's much easier now. The problem is, I've got so many other things that I like to trade. I trade the 6 major cross rates and the major commodities and stuff, and that's really all you really need to do. So that's all the thing you want to pay attention to. So that's what I'm seeing. So whether that means a lot or not, we'll have to wait and see. But that's neither here nor there. I wanted to cover one other market here that we're watching extremely closely, and that, of course, is that crude oil market, because this is in a bear market, in my opinion, and we're waiting for this rally. I want to bring this up here to show it to you, because last night, it was actually kind of early this morning, we got up to that 66.60 level. Now, we were looking for 67.20, so we haven't quite hit that left yet. And now we're trading at around 66. So whether that's going to be a top or not, I don't know. But that's basically, folks, nothing more than a very, very weak 5-day rally from June 5th. That's not a bullish pattern. So crude oil does have negative chart patterns right in here, so kind of keep an eye on that one, because it's really one that is very, very important as far as for trading purposes, because it's got great volatility. I mean, the margin on it is not very much, and you're talking about a contract that's $66,000, and it moves sometimes $2,000 and $3,000 a day. So that's really a good one to look at. So that's an important one. Now, gold's hit some major support down here at this 1298 today. That was a 78% retracement, but the silver and the platinum are acting extremely bullish, folks. They hardly back off at all. That's a very, very positive thing. Now, I wanted to share with you, since we're talking about the gold and the silver, this is from our good friend over in Calabrese, Italy, Mr. Enzo Giannica. I want to bring him up. Enzo, if you're listening, we love you. And Sarah says hello, but he's showing you how he looks at some of these cycles. And this is the same type of cycle work that Jim Hurst worked on, and this was the same type of cycle work that you would get when you got your charts from Cyclotech every Saturday morning by special delivery, and all these would be marked, and they would have these lows that they would be expecting to come in, and that's pretty much what we were looking at. These cycle peaks that you see, you'll notice that they are right at the top of the peak, with the exception of this last one, which it might have topped early, and that's left translation, and that could be very bearish if we've stopped going up, and I'm not sure we have yet, because platinum and silver have already moved in the direction that we think gold is going. So we'll see whether that is going to be the case or not. But that's pretty much, we've only rallied $5 off the bottom in gold, but it stopped right at the 78% level this morning, and that was at exactly 1296 off the previous low that we had. So that number is holding up relatively well. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, the Treasury bonds. Let's pay attention to the Treasury bonds today, folks, because the Treasury bonds, we've got the Federal Reserve out there, we've got the ECB, everything going on, and we should be at some pretty good support here in the Treasury bond market. Let me bring this up here, because we're right at the 78%. Remember, this is a bearish market, folks. Paul Tudor Jones was on CNBC this morning, and he was also talking about that he was looking for interest rates to go substantially higher the rest of this year and into the future. So whether that means much, but he's a pretty smart dude. By the way, those of you that ever bought that tape that he had called the Trader. What was that thing? It was called the Trader. They sold that for $50 back in 1988. It was to stimulate interest in his fund that he had because he had made so much money during the crash of '87. But the problem was he had too many things about the suspicious trading, wearing the Bruce Willis tennis shoes, using the little dragon that he put over the monitor that time. Those things really turned people off that are professional traders. So they pulled that off the air. In fact, they called you if you bought the tape, and they offered to buy it back from you for a profit. And I knew that it's something special at that time, so I kept my tape, and I met Tudor Jones and trained several of his tradings over the years. But he's really a super nice guy, and he was started in this business by Eli Tellis. And Eli's son, Eli Jr., happens to be a good friend of mine and also a cotton trader also. So these are some of the things from the old history books that we want to keep a memory on. Now, we're going to have Hema Reddy from Skinny on the E-mini as our guest here. So we have to treat her very nicely today. She's got a new book, an e-book on momentum and RSI. So we'll have Hema Reddy on at the break. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I hope I have Hema Reddy on the line. Hema, are you there? Well, not yet. Hopefully we'll get her on the line here and we'll be able to have her on. Boy, that's the bad part of this is the technical part is when I go through these things. So we'll try to get her on the line here very,
I
very
think
short.
I'm here, Larry. You hear me?
You are here. Very good.
Okay, great.
You're here. Well, it's good talking to you again, an old Hoosier graduate, which is great. So anyway, listen, why don't you tell us a little bit about this ebook and then show us some of these examples because the folks here like to trade momentum at TFNN, and I think that's primarily what this system does for you, doesn't it? It forces you to trade momentum.
Yeah. So basically, as you mentioned to the crowd earlier, I learned trading from my dad, and he learned from you and many other great mentors. And in addition to the training I had from my dad, I took the CMT exams. And in studying for that, I had all these textbooks and all these methods to go through. And I find that the one thing that sticks from those 3 years of exams is this approach to the RSI that was actually originally put out by a group of analysts that studied the RSI in depth after it first came out in the late 70s. And they looked at it and said, this 0 to 100 range, we can kind of do more with it. And limiting ourselves to 30 oversold and 70 overbought is not allowing us to trade with the trend, and it's not allowing us to trade in trending environments. Otherwise, momentum oscillators are really just good for trading ranges. So by using the RSI with these expanded zones, like you can see here, there's 4 different zones, and the bearish zones are the red lines, and the bullish zones are the green lines. By looking at not just the movement of the RSI through the zones, but actual patterns that I have developed. That I didn't learn from the CMT. I've been using RSI this way for 15 years, so I've come to create systems around it. It allows me to use momentum a little bit, I think, earlier than the traditional approach would.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's all the rules and the explanation and more examples of it are laid out in the ebook, and it's called the Winning RSI Playbook, and that's what I wanted to share with your audience today. But I do have a few examples here to kind of walk them through what the markets are looking like now. I focus on first the ES, which is my skinny on the mini, as Larry said, that I put out every morning, and that's an ES newsletter, but it's so short. I just think of it like a report, but it's definitely useful for anyone looking at the ES, especially short term. So you can see I have 2 lines intersecting in the upper right. That's my timing and price forecast for the ES September contract right now. So my call is that by June 15th, so that's this Friday, we will get up to about 28.30. Now, it's my subscribers each day that will know if I'm still looking to that forecast or if something has changed in the market or in the price action to go away from that. But as of right now, and I've been telling them this since last week, that's what I see. So that is that chart. And you can see looking down at the price action versus the momentum, do you guys see how back in late May, there was this low that formed on the RSI right at those 2 lower green lines? Do you see that, Larry?
Yeah, it's very clear. Yeah, it sure is. And it's been in a strong uptrend ever since.
Exactly. So that was support that would come in, and that shows that was the oversold condition for an uptrending market. Whereas if you're just looking for the traditional oversold, you're going to try to wait till this comes down to 30, and you might miss buy opportunities along the way. So that's one example of this. So we could go to the next chart.
Sure. Let's get this one. This would be the NASDAQ, correct?
Yes, exactly. So because of the asking from my subscribers, they want me to expand out and do all the CME futures, but I just have only so much time each morning. So I've started adding in doing NASDAQ mini analysis on Mondays and Wednesdays. So it's just like the skinny and the mini, but it's the NASDAQ version. And on that chart, I'm not seeing it scroll up on the screen yet. Is it just taking a second?
It's up.
It's up? Okay, there it is. Yep, I see it came up. So obviously, being that this is also an equity index, this is a very similar looking chart to the ES for anyone who's not that familiar with stock futures. But you can see here, so I do things with trend lines that the CMT folks would slap my hands for because it's not following the traditional use. You can see I have this lower trend line, April 25th and May 3rd. It connects those lows. So by that definition, it's a tentative trend line, right? It's not confirmed. It doesn't have that third touch. But when I create parallel projections of that line, which are the 2 pink dashed lines, they're the exact same angle, they're just projections, that shows you that a projection of that line from the midpoint of the April 25th bar, that's the lower pink dash line, that ended up catching the recent lows of this market, which was very helpful the last days of May and even 2 days ago in June. And that same line projected from the May 14th high now gives us some idea of upside scope if this momentum continues. Looking down at the RSI, there's nothing recent that's occurred, but you can see back at that April 25th low, the RSI held in what I call that bull support power zone. Those are 40 to 50. And again, the ebook explains what each zone is and what they mean. So that's where I'm seeing things on NASDAQ. I don't have a time forecast on NASDAQ right now because the way I see it, the cycle is sort of expanding out. That's not necessarily a bullish thing. It just makes it harder for me in my skill level to come up with a target. But I would follow that upper pink line, that resistance line, as a guide. And that's why I put the dates here so that any listeners can go recreate this on their own chart.
Okay, let's take a look at the crude oil. Everybody here at TFNN really watches crude very closely, so that's something that I think they'd like to see. So what are you seeing in the crude? This one looks like it's in a downtrend.
Yeah, so I've got my next chart here is crude oil, and I'm in agreement with you. So I have two charts on crude oil for you. The first one is a weekly chart, and it's got a series of green vertical lines. And those green vertical lines just represent times when crude oil turned in mid to late June. Right. So you can look back. I only went back as far as 2012, but I mean, it's no secret that crude oil has this summer seasonality. But looking at this in January I came up with this two sets of purple lines out at the end. And I said, I think we're going to trade lower. Whatever happens along the way, I'm not sure, but we're going to trade lower into that zone and then probably form a significant low. So taking this from the weekly chart to the daily chart, so that's my last chart in my packet here.
Sure, let me get that up here so we can take a quick look at that. You've done a great job on the graphics. It's real easy to see this.
Oh, good. I'm glad you think so. Yeah, it actually takes a lot of work to make things simple, more than it does to make things complicated. That's what I've learned.
This is for sure.
Yeah. So on the daily chart, you can see I've taken those two purple lines, and now I've created this entire purple shaded zone that on the daily chart, it reflects the same exact timing window. And that started, I believe, just this week. June 11th, yes. So Monday, June 11th, and it goes out to, I believe, Wednesday, July 6th. And what this is saying to me is that, I saw your analysis a few minutes ago on oil. I agree that there should be another drive or move lower, but look at where that RSI is. That RSI is down at recent oversold levels. The last time it was this oversold was back on February 9th, and February 9th ended up being a significant low. So I'm in short-term agreement with you, Larry, for another move lower, but in the big picture, I think we might see something come up. So that's what I had to say, and I'd love for you guys to come grab my free ebook.
Stay with us, because we want to do is we want to how they get the book when we come back from the break. Are you stay with us for a minute?
Yeah, I will. Sure, for sure.
Okay, we'll be right back. HEMA Ready with Skinny on the E-Mini. Be right back.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back with Hema Reddy of Skinny on the E-mini. Hema, what is the ebook about and how much does it cost and how do they get it?
Sure. So my ebook is free, actually. It is.
It's
It's free.
It's certainly overpriced.
Well, I'll be, fully transparent with you all. So the ebook is called The Winning RSI Playbook, and it's free because it details information that I usually end up kind of teaching really quickly, like live in a webinar. But this is a book that, you can actually, it's a 30-page ebook where you can kind of go through it on your own time, review back to it. But once you sign up for the ebook, if anyone's interested, then they will see the further kind of education that they could take advantage of from it. But it's all optional, and all those products that tie to it are all refundable, so they have a chance to really check it out. So yeah, this is the cover of the free ebook, and because of my friend and dad's mentor, Larry here, I just made it easy for you guys. You just go to hemaready.com/Larry. But the thing is, I like to reward people who take action. And on a slow market day like this, you really don't have any excuse. If it's a free ebook, then I would like you to grab it today. This link will not redirect to the ebook after 10 p.m. tonight.
Okay, we're having some questions. Does this come with a money-back guarantee on the free book?
It's a free ebook, so sure, money-back guarantee.
Okay, hey, listen, thanks for joining us, and we'll have you on again soon. But it was very interesting to have you on, and keep up the good work. And I still think of your dad. He's a great fellow. So is your mom still okay?
Oh, yeah, Mom is doing really well. She's actually in India right now, but yeah, she's doing well. And I've told her how I've stayed in touch with you, and she's glad to hear it. So thanks for having me, Larry.
Real sweetheart. It's my pleasure, dear. You take it easy, and may God bless.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
You bet. That was Hema Reddy of Skinny on the E-mini. I trained her father 30-some years ago. I met him in New York, and we became friends over the years. And a really super nice fellow, and he passed away, I believe, of a heart attack unexpectedly a few years ago. I wanted to bring this next chart up, folks, which is the gold. We've been watching it very, very closely because I think sometimes in the future here, we're going to be going to the upside. We haven't done much since the 20th of May when we made a bottom down there. There was a 3 drive to a bottom there. If you remember, that was the 61% retracement on the long-term daily chart, equivalent to what we had last July. We haven't had any rally, folks. That's the bad part about this. We're a month into this puppy, 3 weeks into it, and it's not going up, at least not yet. Silver and platinum are, but not the gold, and I don't know why that is, but there's a lot of things I don't know. So just keeping an eye on that. That's the main thing that I think that we ought to focus on. So those are some of the things that we're keeping an eye on this morning. Now tomorrow we'll have Norm Winsky on for his full day session, which is always interesting because Norm does a super job, with the astrology. And as I said many times, one of my really bucket list things that I would love to have is sometime before I go to that big casino in the sky is to have a whole segment, maybe 5 minutes on Bloomberg or CNBC, where they talk about financial astrology, and they have the theory behind it, because in Dr. Andrew Lowe's book from MIT, when he wrote The Evolution of Technical Analysis, the first 50 pages of that book describes what's happening with astrologer. He said the astrologers were the very first technicians. So whether that'll happen or not, remains to be seen. But getting back to the markets, we've certainly got a lot of things to focus on today with the Federal Reserve, the ECB, and then also people are trying to determine what's happened in this thing with the summit. But it appears it looks really good, but appearances can be very deceiving, but whether that means much or not, just follow the charts. That's basically what we really want. Oh, we got a caller on the line, John from Philly. How are you, my friend?
Larry, I'm very good. Let me be courteous and have you finish your thought, and then ask you the question I had.
That was my thought, so you're courteous enough. Go ahead, my friend.
Very good. Hey, tell me this. I know you went up to Winnipeg back in the 60s to trade gold futures when they traded up there. So you know the deep history. What year, please, did COMEX start trading gold futures in New York? What was that, please?
1972.
Excellent.
1972, and then the Merck came out with it in the early 80s. But 1972 was COMEX when it first began trading.
So that means we are now, 46 years into COMEX gold futures trading?
Yeah, my memory's not as good, but I know it was either 72 or 73 because Nixon took us off the gold standard, and that right after that, they were already trading gold anyway, but they just made it legal. But I believe it was within a few weeks or a month of when they took it off, they were ready to go. So it was very, very close to that.
Legal is the operative word here. Yes. Anyway. Larry, just in your previous thought, in mentioning what gold's done since that May 20th low, not going down, but not going up either, I share with you a candidate for a reason that explains why it hasn't gone up, at least not yet.
Love to hear it. Fire away, my friend.
And yes, since 1972, when COMEX gold futures began trading. That now means 46 calendar years. If one simply does the math, which I've done, one sees that in the entire 12-month year, any given year, on average, there is one definitive seasonal tendency for lows that's quite dominant. Of course, it doesn't happen every year, but July 1st, plus or minus a couple of weeks, is the average seasonal low for gold price.
That's good information to know, John.
So perhaps the reason gold has not gone up is because that seasonal pressure is in effect here. And if that's relieved, in the next couple of weeks, perhaps that's the reason why gold price will rally, starting now or very soon. So I just wanted to share that idea with you.
That's very good information, John. And if you've got anything statistically, send it on to me, and I'll share it with the folks tomorrow. And because I like seasonal work, and I still look at Steve Moore's work out of Oregon, of course, but I wasn't really aware of that. But I'm certainly going to look into it. I'll check with Jim Twentyman today because he does some seasonal work too. But thank you for your information. You know how much I respect what you do, so keep up the good work. You've done some great things. for the
Thanks
folks
for,
here at TFNN.
Thanks for introducing HEMA to us all. Appreciate it.
Met her when she was 8 years old. She was trading pork bellies back then. No, not really, but anyway, well, thanks for John, and I certainly enjoy having you on the show here. It's really a lot of fun. So, Mr. Z, thank you so much. You bet. Okay, folks. We got a break coming up here in a minute, and then we'll see what's happening with what's going on in the markets. Remember, we have Fed Day today, and then we have the ECB. And I think a whole bunch of other stuff. So there's probably going to be some rocking and rolling before it's all over. But keep an eye on it. We're going to be looking at this corn and beans and wheat and stuff tomorrow with this full moon. New moon. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I wanted to share with you this chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This comes from one of our good friends across the pond. Does incredible technical work. He's the one that does the DAX and FTSE for us, but this shows you a perfect Gartley pattern, 3 ratios coming together right at the 61% retracement, and here we are in the zone of the new moon. So sometimes that's enough to turn the market down for maybe one day. Anyway, there's been a lot of news in the market recently, whether this has been already factored in, we'll have to wait and see. But keep an eye on that chart, because the NASDAQ, as we've seen, has been, basically parabolic, with the rest of the markets lagging badly. That's we have a two-tier market there, as Basil would call it, a bifurcated market. So, it's totally different. That NASDAQ is basically 20 stocks of the big ones. And like I've mentioned, those popular stocks are making major topping patterns. I'm talking 3-drive to a top pattern, butterfly patterns, and also the major ABCD patterns on those. Now, they do fail a lot, so this could certainly happen. But these are major patterns, folks. They go back quite a ways. So keep watching it, because it's very, 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 very interesting. And so anyway, that's what we're watching here. Tomorrow we're going to have Norman. We call it by the minute Winsky, and we'll double check his work to see how often it was. Remember, around that 12:20, 12:12 to 12:34, there's 3 major aspects coming in. That's in a couple hours. So watch that time very, very closely in the stock market, because there's 3 of them. Between 12:12 and 12:24, there are 3 different aspects coming in that might have some pretty good trading opportunities. So they don't work all the time, but sometimes they're spot on. So keep a very close eye on that. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. And we'll see you on the flip flop tomorrow with Norm Winsky as our guest on the new moon of June the 13th tomorrow.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks!